Plaintiff Dominique Thomas worked at a restaurant where the defendant was the manager, but she claims the defendant was fired for abandoning the restaurant. Dominique says that night she and the defendant got into a physical altercation, and so the defendant vandalized her car. Defendant Jakia Richmond says Dominique has an extremely poor work ethic. And one night while on the job, she caught Dominique smoking pot in the bathroom. Jakia insists Dominique is the one who physically attacked her, so she's countersuing for the assault and harassment.
All rise. This court is now in session. The Honorable Judge Greg Mathis presiding. You may now be seated.
Start with you.
I don't know the defendant, Ms. Richmond, like that. I know I worked with her. She was a manager at our job. She was not the perfect manager, unfortunately. She would leave us in the store to go do what she...
Store manager or one of the assistant managers?
She was just a manager, a third shift manager. A third shift manager.
Okay.
She come from a different store, so that's why I didn't know her. I didn't know nothing about her. The first couple nights, we didn't see eye to eye.
Why?
Because there's certain things that's done in the grill area in our store that doesn't have nothing to do with front service. And we didn't see eye to eye with that. She was trying to make it seem like she knew what was going on, and it wasn't how it's supposed to go. And that's what caused us to have the interaction with each other. So.
How did it lead to that with your boss? When your boss says, I think I wanted to go this way. What did you say? No, it ain't going like that.
No.
You can't just come up in here changing no rules. Manager or not, boss or not, I run this operation. That ain't the way we do it around here. And don't you come in here starting to do it like that.
I understand. When we're down in the store, we are required to do manual, which is we're not allowed to stop running the store. We're not allowed to take breaks. If there's nobody, like grill is from front counter.
The manager isn't either?
If there's nobody to recover her, no, she's not allowed to take a break.
And she tried to do that?
Yes.
All right, you told her to don't take no break.
She can't.
I think you need to be the manager. That's what it sounds like to me. Go ahead, Mel. You wanted to be. Go ahead.
So I contacted her manager, which was everybody's manager.
That's right.
The next day when the defendant came in, she was fired.
For what?
Because she left us in the store outside doing activities she had no business.
All right, let me hear from you.
All righty now. Before I just dive right in there, allow me to clear this up. What she's referring to as far as management, basically what she's saying is I abandoned the crew. No, there were two managers on shift, and the night that she's referring to, I had a female issue, I had to leave. No, my boss was not happy with it because she needed both managers on shift, but hey, I got something I gotta take care of, I needed to leave. That was the end of that.
Were you terminated the next day for that?
No, I was not terminated. So allow me to dive in regards to the situation at hand. This young lady has poor work ethics. She's a habitual liar. She was stealing. So back to the matter at hand.
So really, she was essentially saying, don't stop me from stealing no more.
Along with
don't come in here and stop me from stealing. I've been stealing a long time now. Don't come in here changing no policy that's gonna stop my stealing. Now, I'll fight you about that. You can do a lot of things, but don't go there. Don't go there.
Sir, there are cameras and audio. These cameras can hear you talking.
Okay.
They can hear you. So
as far as I started on their shift, they would do, I make a big deal out of pushing sales and things like that. Those things were not being pushed. Instead, they would cut corners. Oh, we're out of this. We don't have
All right,
this.
so you came in and tried to clean up the operation.
Clean it up, basically.
All right.
Okay, so she didn't like that, along with other people. So one night, I had a car sitting there we had messed up her order. I'm waiting for my grill guy
to drive through.
To correct the order. So while I'm sitting there waiting, it dawned on me like, hey, 20 minutes, I was exaggerating the minutes, but 20 minutes went by. Where's the food? I look up, my whole crew is gone. Where's the crew? So I go out on the floor looking for the rest of the crew. I go in the bathroom, they're smoking weed. So I'm like, yeah, they're smoking weed. So I make it clear. I said, this is very unprofessional. I got a whole line of drive-through cars. Y'all need to come up out my bathroom. I left it at that, let the statement hung in the air, went on about my business. They come back, everybody's upset. The next day, when my supervisor come in, I let her know, hey, my whole crew walked off last night. You can see them on the camera. You can see me going, fish them out.
On camera smoking?
No, not smoking.
Going in, though.
She can see the whole crew leave their post and go in the bathroom, and then she'll see me.
At the same time.
At the same time. They off. Yeah,
If that's the case,
Don't say
yes.
she gave him the sign.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out if that's the case, why am I the manager now? If I'm supposed to be fired,
Okay,
right?
so I come in, after I speak to my manager, she say, okay, we're gonna deal with it, whatever. Come in the next day. This is the following day. I come in and she's like, oh, what the so-and-so you doing here? You ain't supposed to be here. I ignored her and continue to, get my shit from the previous manager. So I'm counting down the safe. She's walked out and called my boss. So I talked to my boss. My boss says, hey, she's there. I don't want it to be a confrontation tonight. So you just leave and we'll deal with
Okay, there's an assault here, so there must have been a
that's where this
confrontation.
is going. Yeah.
Let me allow her to go there since she's suing you about it. Go ahead.
Okay, so
How did you all get to this confrontation you're suing about?
I was main manager after she got fired. So the night of that incident, February 5th,
She was still boss then, though?
she was fired. She wasn't supposed to be there. She walked in and I
was
called the
not
manager.
fired.
I called the manager and she said she had to go home. If we were doing all these activities, she say, we would have been fired. All of us.
You were
I still worked there.
promoted.
I still worked there, yes. I was promoted.
Okay.
So,
The main manager must smoke weed, too.
that's what I'm trying to figure out.
All you had to do
I'm
is
just saying.
All you had to do is give him or her a bag and you get promoted.
So,
Hey, I saw y'all smoking in the bathroom on tape.
that's
Y'all
invading
got- is that
personal
the Chronic,
privacy if
the
it's a
Kush,
camera in the bathroom.
Indigo, go ahead.
So, February 5th, at 10 o'clock, I did contact her manager because she wasn't supposed to be there. She knew that. So after what was said between her and them, she put on her coat. She get to making smoothies, walking out the door. So she's walking around the counter. People said they're gonna hit me in my mouth and just starting
She's
stuff.
saying that.
She's saying this.
Uh-huh.
She said, I'm not leaving until the girl come lock the door. This little girl is a minor, need I mind you. So I'm like, never mind. I'm gonna walk around and I'm gonna lock the door. As I'm getting ready to lock the door, she sticks her foot in the door. Like, I ain't going nowhere. Yeah, you getting up out of here. I moved her foot. She swung at me. So she took off her coat. I punched her about 2 times. And I have a video of all of us trying to get this young lady out the store. So I'm like, all right, after that, watch your back and I'm gonna come back and get you and all this other mess. So I'm like, okay, you know what time I get off? I get off at 6. At 4 o'clock, I'm just being for real. At 4 o'clock, I heard my coworker screaming like, Dominique, come here, hurry up. She was outside busting my windows. And before I could
saw her?
This was her. My coworker saw her. And before I could get to the window, she was gone. So I immediately called the police. I'm like, I'm mad. I'm telling her to call the 911. I'm gonna beat her up when I catch her. But I didn't go. I didn't do none of that. I just got my police report. I went about my day. I tagged up my windows. I went home.
Good.
So after that, I had a contact with this young lady. Yes, I did. I via Facebook. I told her, I said, I like the way you bust out my kids' transportation. I don't want to fight you. I know where I stay. I want my money.
You have that?
Yes.
All right, let me hear from you, man.
Okay.
Starting at
With the truth.
No. I got a question. If she's on tape, her and her colleagues leaving their place of work, going into the bathroom, smoking weed, got it on tape, them all leaving at the same time. How did she get promoted? And you lost your job.
I don't know. I didn't lose my job.
Okay.
I don't know what she's talking about, if she's been promoted. I just quit on March 5th or something.
Why?
I quit because I found out she was rehired. That's why I quit.
She had been fired?
Yes, what they did was they terminated. When I went to the store manager said I was terminated from the store, but she wasn't being clear. So I went to the office and they further detailed like she just don't want you at the store because of the confrontation with her. We were both terminated. Go through the hoops. They run the tapes back. They did not see me on tape.
Yeah, but they brought her back.
Yeah, but they didn't.
Let's get to the fight, man.
Okay, so
all I know is reasonable to believe that she did nothing wrong and you did. because you're no longer there and she has been promoted.
Okay.
So tell me about this assault. You came up there, you were telling me that.
Yeah.
How you would come up there.
It was my shift.
Okay.
That's why I was
So
there.
the boss told you to leave,
The boss
though.
told me to leave because
right.
she didn't know that.
So the
she
boss
was-
told you to leave work. The boss says, I know you're working. I know you're a manager. But for some reason, she said, you're going to have to leave there. Did you have to leave?
No, I was
Very
there that
good.
night.
Go ahead.
Okay.
She told you to leave, your own boss.
She told me to leave because the whole crew.
Whatever the reason, she told you to leave, didn't tell her.
So
Go ahead.
I'm on my way out the door and she started walking from behind the counter. So I turned around before I made it to the door and it was some people getting off work in the dining room and I'm like, you come lock the door behind me. I told her to do that for a reason because I was not about to walk out the door and then she attacked me when I turned my back. So she comes to the door, like she said, there's people in the dining room. You had no reason to come from behind the counter to lock any door. So the girl standing there.
They're still worried about you being confrontational.
No, I wasn't being confrontational.
All
I
right,
was
if she was
leaving.
concerned that you would be, then that's what they do.
Oh,
When
okay.
somebody who they think is going to be confrontational walks out the door, you lock it.
I'm saying she's in the back
How did the
working, and there's a
confrontation
dining
occur,
room full
ma'am?
of
How did
people.
the confrontation
The
occur?
confrontation occurred because I turned around and I refused to go out the door with my back to her because she came from behind the the counter, which is
Refused to go out the
unnecessary.
door, and then
so
what?
I'm standing there waiting for the girl to come out to lock the door behind me. In the process, she's standing in the door talking all types of stuff, all types of threats. There's a gentleman in the back who finally hears the altercation. He comes up, and when he pushes, you know, when somebody get in between to stop it, then the other person start going crazy because somebody's holding them. That's what she did. So when he pushed her, when he's pushing her back, that's when she decided to swing. She never swung. It was all worse. She swung and her nail caught my face. It wasn't a complete slap. Her nail caught my face. So when I'm getting ready to react, he pushes me out the door and tell me go. He was like, she on camera, don't worry about it, which is why I left. You on camera. I'd rather have your job than to stand here and fight with you. I'm a manager. Why would I do all that?
How did it end?
How did it end?
Yes,
I
ma'am.
left and got in my car and I went home and I called my supervisor. He could,
She said she's going to show me tape where
You came
you
back and bust out
continued
my
to
windows,
try and
baby.
fight. All right,
And
so
I'll-
let's see
okay.
it. Who's going to see
Okay.
it? Let's see.
That's me in the red in the hallway. You see him pushing me out the door?
Because you swung at me and I
That
reacted.
was, oh, okay.
I reacted. You swung at me and
No,
I
I
reacted. You did. All I did was ask you to leave the store. You should have just left instead of swinging at me.
That's her you hear talking.
That is me. Because you made me mad. You swung at me.
No, I didn't.
Girl. You swung at me.
You see,
I'm going to
when he
react
pushed
like
her,
that.
she swung, and I stood there, and then he pushed me out the door and said, don't worry
The
about it, I got
altercation
you.
had already begun at that point. The question is, who was the aggressor? Who started the altercation? And I'm inclined to believe it was you, based on all the facts I've heard.
Who, me?
Yes, your boss telling you to go home. Start there. Do you have your police
Yes,
report?
I have my documentation.
No,
There was
police
no
report.
I didn't need one.
All right, yes, you do, because she got hers.
I didn't
Thank
need
you.
one.
Well, you do today.
No.
Oh, yes.
I'm saying
Now,
you
don't get confrontational
somebody
with me.
harassing me.
I'm
He
not.
got
Police
you
all day.
covered. And he'll do you worse than that man did you.
If somebody
Yeah,
harassing me,
this
I'm
is
calling the
very
police
clear.
all day.
Judgment for the plaintiff. I'm going to conclude that you were perjuring yourself. Have a good day. Your claim is dismissed. Have a good day. Judgment for the plaintiff.
Girl, you sad.
I don't got nothing to say about the girl. Like, to me, she just irritating. She ignorant. I just want my money. That's all I want. That's all I got to say.